What's Next with Danny Coleman. Tonight, Danny's guests include Emmy Award winner and award-winning author Robert Agnello, singer, songwriter, and touring artist Dave Vargo. And Danny and Art take a road trip to the Saint in Asbury Park, New Jersey to interview and catch a live performance from musician and actor Ian Colletti. Hang around, have some fun, have some laughs, maybe hear a few jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Danny Coleman.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to What's Next. We never know what's next.
No, you don't.
But you know what? You can tell us what's next or what may be next. Email me. What's next COA? What's next COA at gmail.com with suggestions, comments, compliments, criticisms, whatever you want to do about this show. We will gladly take on all comers. Okay, maybe not.
Maybe not.
So I haven't checked actually this week. Did we get any new letters from that?
We had some, yes. I
We
just
did.
had a little bit of trouble getting it off, so next time, off the printer. My printer wasn't working.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
Where did your mind go?
Ooh.
I saw that.
My mind went deep in the printer.
I'm actually innocent. Thank you very much. I ran out of ink. So once I get more ink, I will print them out and we will start reading them on the show.
I see that. Well, we have actually, we have a very good show tonight. As you heard, our sponsors, yes. I want to thank them, are Monmouth Music, Red Bank, New Jersey, and City of Angels, cityofangelsnj.org if you wish to make a donation. Greatest nation in the world, donation. As well as Neo Zoe of Cranford, New Jersey, and the Recovery Spot, New York. I can't do it the way Jay does.
I know.
Same thing. But, so we do. We have a.
It's an exciting show.
It is. We have a good
is.
lineup. Dave and Dave Vargo, our musical guest, as well as Robert Agnello.
Yes.
Apparently they dress alike.
Yes, they do.
They do. We will be seeing them in a little bit. Dave has some new music. He's actually going to debut here
fantastic.
tonight for us.
Okay.
So that's great. We also have an interview. Art and I went on the road to Asbury Park last week, and we interviewed the actor Ian Colletti, who is also a musician. Ian stars in the popular AMC channel series Preacher. His character is Arseface, who attempted suicide and failed, so his mouth is kind of like...
Yeah, it's a crazy prosthetic he wears.
Yeah. Wears a crazy prosthetic, takes him 2 hours to get into. Art and I went to see him at the Saint in Asbury Park, New Jersey. I want to say hi to Scott Stamper and Meg Donahue out there. They took very good care of us in the green room when we got to interview Ian, and we're going to be seeing that interview very shortly. So, anything else?
No, I just can't wait to see what's next.
It's pretty good. That's right. What's next?
They should grab popcorn.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, get us some too, popcorn. Maybe some kettle corn. What kind of kettle corn do you like?
I love any popcorn. I love it. I'm a fanatic.
All right, we need our staff. Where's our staff? We need it. Well, we don't have a staff. All right. Well, we don't even have a microwave. All right, stick around. Find out what's next.
See ya.
Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
Hey, everybody. Follow me, because Art and I are getting ready to go into the Saint, our first road trip. come on inside here in Asbury Park to see Ian Colletti.
Come up next to the stage. Guys, please give it up for Ian Colletti.
Hello, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Ian Colletti. And yeah, we're going to play a few songs. We'll play a few acoustic songs first. This is an older song, but I thought I'd play it anyway. It's called Stay. Tell me all your dreams and all the thoughts that make you what you're made of. But don't be upset if I say I need some time.
Right. We are on the road, engineer Art and I, and we are at the Saint in Asbury Park, New Jersey, home of original music. And my guest tonight sitting down is a Jersey native, singer, songwriter, musician, actor from the popular AMC series Preacher, Mr. Ian Colletti. Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
We are fantastic here tonight. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with us before your big gig here tonight.
Oh, dude, I'm happy to, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be good.
I have. I think it's going to be a good show, and you have a band with you tonight, right? Yeah. You're getting ready to release, or actually, by the time this airs, you will have already released a single called "Love While We're Young."
Yep.
And tell us about that.
Yeah, Friday, October 27th, we'll be releasing a single called Love While We're Young. We'll be playing it here tonight. Really proud of it. I think over the next few months I'll be releasing singles kind of every few weeks or so. But yeah, it's kind of just a song about people who, it's kind of the song that I wrote kind of love letter to a person who I thought was kind of kind of so caught up in kind of the anxieties and worries of life that you're not able to just let go and enjoy the roller coaster of life and just kind of be young and enjoy that experience. So it's kind of a short story that I wrote about that.
Now, is this your first CD?
Yeah, it's my first single that I'm putting out. But like I said, I'd recorded an EP, but then I decided rather than releasing it all at once, I thought it might be best for me to release it kind of one at a time over the next few months. But yeah, they're songs that I'm really proud of, and I think I hope people will respond to them and like them. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a digital thing then. You're gonna just release a single each time. There will be no actual physical copy.
Yeah, for right now, it's going to be mainly digital. It'll be up on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, because that kind of is, that's kind of where music is headed right now, and kind of that's, especially for myself and other young people, I think, digital releases are the way that I personally, and I think most people right now are consuming music, so, that makes the most sense for me right now.
Okay. Now, other than this gig here, are there any other gigs you're doing while you're home here in Jersey?
Yeah, I definitely would like to. We don't have anything specific set right now, but I have some phone calls in, and I think there's going to be definitely, some other stuff in the next few months. Yeah.
Okay, great. When you go up on stage, do you often go with a band, or do you want to do more solo stuff? And which do you prefer?
It's a tough one. It's hard. Like all of my songs, I usually don't write with a band. I usually kind of write by myself and write these acoustic songs and then get a band together, and then it kind of takes a new shape when everyone's together and playing it with a full band. Honestly, I really like both, and a lot of my sets, I like to try and do a few acoustic songs at the beginning, and then have the band come up, and we usually do the majority, but the rest of the set we do as a full band. But I've always thought there's something very intimate about just, singer-songwriter, just guitar and vocals, which I really like. As a consumer of music, I enjoy that. So, and as a writer, that's kind of what I'm attracted to. So I like to do both.
Who's your favorite act?
I don't know if I have a favorite act necessarily, but I think anything I do musically is just an accumulation of tons of influences throughout my life. More recent influences, like artists like Ben Howard, or people that I'm a really big fan of. But like Arcade Fire, like Funeral was a record that really shaped my my view of music. Yeah, those are some. The Nationals, one of my favorite bands of all time. But yeah, then I listen to a lot of indie rock, which is probably what most obviously has influenced my music to someone listening. But I love R&B and rap, and I think lyrically, sometimes melodically, I like to think that those things have influenced the way that I phrase things sometimes. And yeah, I think everything has had a little bit of an influence. Some things more obvious than others, but yeah.
Now, what kind of music was in your household growing up? Are your parents musical? Your sister is on this cut, you told me the other night when you called my radio program.
Yeah, and she's singing tonight. She's a beast of a vocalist. Like I said, she stands at about 5'1" and 100 pounds, but you would not tell that by listening to her sing. But as far as growing up, there were all kinds of different music in my house, and especially I was fortunate to have really great teachers, even outside of my house, that exposed me at a young age to really cool non-mainstream music, like at the time Funeral, like by Arcade Fire, that kind of shaped my understanding of music and kind of definitely had a heavy influence on me and what I thought was cool and good.
It's Arcade 5, and you said R&B you like as well, right? I mean, I know growing up, my mother, if she was in a good mood, listened to Elvis.
Yeah.
If she wanted to clean the house, she listened to Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Okay.
And my father liked Charlie Pride and the Platters.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
How I wind up being a drummer, I don't know. But and I know there was always music on in my house. So take us through your writing process from the thought to. Do we go chords first? Do we go lyrics first? How do you fit it all together?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was kind of, music wasn't ever something I intended to necessarily have be like a part of my career, or looking at it. I never really necessarily looked at it through like a professional lens of, this is like something that would maybe be a real job for me. But it really, that's not how it started. It started really as just very therapeutic. I was, I was just writing songs in the same way that other people keep a journal. It was a way for me to kind of get it out of my head and onto paper, and through the process of writing this song, I found that in writing there's so much self-reflection involved in it that I often came out the other side of having written something is kind of let that off my chest kind of. But as far as my technical process, I don't, I approach everything somewhat differently. I would say if there's one thing that I've noticed through all my songs and the way that I write them, it's always born out of a real feeling and a real experience, and I think maybe whether it's whatever that feeling is, whether it's happiness or melancholy, sadness, I find that I try to write a piece of music that matches the way I feel at that moment, or sounds the way that I feel. And I think lyrically then, sometimes it all just pours out in one sitting, other times it's over months, I'm just chipping away at it. But as long as by starting with the music that matches the feeling, I find as a writer I can come back to it later on, and even when I'm in a different headspace mentally, by hearing that music, it sometimes is able to put me back in that spot to some degree, to at least remember where I was, to get in the mind of the person who started writing that song, to be able to finish it.
You ever have to put it down and walk away and come back to it?
Yeah. There's songs that there were months in between me writing them, and it's really interesting as being a writer and performing. And some of these songs almost feel like covers to me. Like when I play them, they're my original songs, but I feel like I'm such a different person, or the person that wrote that song is not me, but I still enjoy playing them. But it's interesting, even coming back to songs later, that it feels almost as if I'm covering someone else's song, because I'm not in the place I was anymore when I wrote it. But that sometimes can be exciting, especially songs that I've written acoustically, but then I play with the band. There's kind of this way I get to kind of discover the song sometimes in a way that can be really exciting.
Yeah, what's old is new again in that aspect.
Yeah. Definitely.
Now, what's your opinion on music today?
I think there's a lot of hate that music today gets, and I'm not a huge fan of mainstream radio stuff, but I think there is some really amazing, great music. I think it just is maybe a little harder to find it, or it just takes people that are fans of music in general to do the research. But I think with, like we were talking earlier about digital platforms and digital streaming platforms, I would say there's never been more bad music, but it's also never been easier to find good music, because there's just so much content that anyone can record something and in GarageBand and post it on through CD Baby and get the song on Spotify or something. So there's this wave of music that hasn't been thought through in the way that it would have been 40, 50 years ago, where it's like you got to really rehearse it, you're really fine-tuning it, you're paying massive amounts of time to be in the studio, and there's a release, and there's this whole thing. Like, now it's so easy that there's this wave of terrible music, but also that direct musician to consumer has also opened the doors for really great and talented musicians to kind of hopefully cut through that and be able to go directly to their consumers in a way that, if you're a fan of music and willing to do a little bit of legwork, you can find some incredible music. And like I said before, if you're not a fan of rap and R&B, then maybe necessarily this wouldn't be a great time where you would love mainstream music. But for the most part, I am that. So I think it's cool that kind of music is taking a headline.
Okay, now tell me something. When you say a fan of R&B and so on and so forth, this bar, the Saint, okay, kind of caters to everything a little bit. So, what made you choose here?
I just love the Saint, and I love Asbury Park, and I think of any bar or music venue, this is one with so much history and so many great bands and people have played here and just been here. So I think there's just such a cool culture in Asbury Park in general that is really manifested in this venue specifically. So I think it's just really cool to be able to, put my name in a list of people, musicians that are a lot better and greater than I am, to be able to kind of have played in the same spot that they did is a privilege, I think.
Well, Scott caters to original artists here, and it truly is the only bar in Asbury Park that is 100% original music, so, or at least that has garnered that reputation. May not be the only one anymore, but
yeah.
That's good. Now, just one or two more little questions. I'll let you go, man. I know, because I hear the other act is just starting. That's great. We have a monitor in here that you can see the performers on stage. We're in the green room at the Saint, by the way, on Main Street in Asbury Park, home of original music. And I'm sitting here with Ian Colletti. And let's talk a little bit about that other career.
Yeah,
you're an actor.
I am. Yeah, I'm an actor. I'm right at the moment. I'm on a show called Preacher. It's on AMC. I play a character called Arseface. The show's based on a graphic novel, and it's it's a lot of fun, man. To be able to make a career as an artist is a privilege, and I feel very lucky to be able to, for a living, be an actor and also then be able to play music.
Now you just finished season 2, right?
We did, yeah. Still waiting on a pickup order for season 3, but hopefully the season 3 is happening, and maybe we'll be doing that soon. But it's up in the air at the moment. But
When I left you season 2, I happened to walk in to my ex-brother-in-law's house. Him and my nephew are sitting there watching Preacher.
It's awesome.
And you got off the bus with Hitler.
Yeah, which out of context, man.
And I looked at it, I said, "What's with that guy?" Because your character, you've got. I mean, you were saying it takes you a couple hours just to get into the makeup and everything. Right?
It does. It takes a few hours to get. I wear pretty extensive prosthetics on my face because my character tried to kill himself with a shotgun, but he survived. So his face is pretty severely disfigured. But yeah, I mean, I love the character work as an actor, so it's such a fun part to be able to play, and it's really. This kind of strange, odd character is really connected with a lot of people, and I feel privileged to be able to play him.
Great. All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you, Ian. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Oh, man,
here.
thank you. It's great.
Much appreciated.
Oh, yeah, totally, man.
Ian Colletti. And what's that, Art? Oh, you want me to have the mic? Let's get back. There you go. Ian Colletti tonight. I'm looking forward to his performance. We'll get a little bit of footage of that. That'll be coming at you live. And Ian, best of luck to you with the music and the acting. And thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Since 1987, Monmouth Music has served the local music community of Red Bank from their location at 30 Monmouth Street in the center of historic downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. Owner-operated, Monmouth Music provides lessons of all levels, beginner through professional, as well as brand name instruments and a repair service. For all of your musical needs, go to Monmouth Music. That's Monmouth Music, 30 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to What's Next with Danny Coleman. And what's next right now is my first guest. He's drived. You've driven a long way this evening to be with us, all the way from Warwick, New York.
Yes.
Mr. Robert Agnello. Yay. Robert is an author, a musician. And what's it say on your Facebook page about your employment?
Oh, former big shot at ABC.
Former big shot
I'm
at
not
ABC.
a former. I was lying, actually.
I kind of figured
and
that.
I couldn't figure out how to change it, so I just left it.
Well, it's okay.
My girlfriend has to help me with that.
We provide IT services here.
I'm not good at Facebook.
This is
I
true.
get in a lot of trouble with Facebook.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why?
I just things I kind of say that I got to take down because I get yelled at.
By?
My girlfriend.
Behind every good man is a better woman.
Or apparently
There it is.
one that monitors Facebook.
Oh yeah, monitors everything I do, kind of.
She's protecting his image.
She's protecting me. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
See?
Oh, there you go. See, you know, it's really funny. You can count the number of times on one hand and have fingers left over that I've posted something of a political nature on Facebook. And the very first time I ever did it was just a quote from Thomas Jefferson.
How could you do that?
Oh, apparently I was vilified.
Jefferson was a hack.
You would have thought I got hacked. I start getting private messages from people. You know, you're in the public eye with your radio show. You really should stay out of politics. It was a quote from Thomas Jefferson. I even put Thomas Jefferson. I didn't be like, you know, when him and I were friends, I didn't say, hey, Tej. You know, it was just like, Thomas Jefferson.
I kind of thought I'd get slapped by ABC for the things I
Yeah.
post. But you know what? What are you going to do?
Right?
Yeah. Freedom of speech.
Correct. As long as you're not doing it from ABC Studios, I
No,
guess. So what is it that you do for ABC?
I'm the senior manager at ABC. I run the studio for Good Morning America. I built it. I run it. I basically keep the cameras, audio, and all the people happy.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very
It's
nice.
a lot of fun.
Yes.
ABC. Who's hosting that now? I haven't watched Good Morning America.
Robin Roberts, George
Okay, still Robin Roberts? Oh, yeah, George.
Michael Strahan, Lara Spencer.
Oh, Michael Strahan's one?
Yes.
Is that where he went after he
Yeah.
left Kelly, like, crying at the
Yes.
other studios?
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. They're all really nice. Everybody's kind of really nice.
No, I know, and I love in the morning when you just take your own selfies of wherever you are in the studio.
Yeah, I
It's
have a
like,
problem
Good morning.
with selfies.
Good morning.
Do you?
Yeah, kind of.
I can't. I'm terrible at them.
I do that in my car.
Do you?
When nobody from law enforcement is going to be watching the show, huh?
Probably not.
Okay, good. Yeah, I do take them in my car as I'm driving.
There you go.
My probation officer.
Darn.
Our last guest.
I don't text, just
You know.
pictures.
I don't text,
I
I
don't
just
text,
take
just
selfies.
pictures. Just
Last
pictures.
episode, last guest, son is in law enforcement, so, you know, just letting you know. We'll tell you what towns to
My
stay
name is
out of.
Robert Smith. Did we already establish that?
My name is Rich Shalanda. I'm the musical director for... Oh, wait. Hey, Rich. Actually, I did... No, that's a whole other story for another time with a UPS driver.
Oh, I want to hear this.
No, that's... Well... That's
Nothing to do with a
that's for
kibasi or
another
anything,
time.
right?
No.
Okay, no,
Not,
just
no,
asking.
not that time.
Okay.
Something about goats. What?
Okay.
Well, no, you were an author as well,
I am an author. It's amazing.
and
I'm totally impressed.
and why do you
sometimes.
go ahead? So
Because
you're impressed with yourself. Why?
No, it's not I'm impressed with myself. I'm impressed that I actually was able to be an author. I'm actually able to do something like this. I was a musician for most of my life, and I guess musicians tell stories and in all their songs, or they kind of should. And I decided to make this change when I got the job at ABC. It offered me some time, and it offered me a steady income, as being a touring musician never did, to really, all the illustrations in my books are by illustrators who I hire.
Okay.
Nick Miola did the Glimmers. Joey Scarperia and Amia Jones did the Snazzle Raffer, and a guy named Louis Manna did the Band of Innocence.
Okay, now which one came first?
Band of Innocence came first.
Okay.
That came out like 12 years ago as a graphic novel. Didn't come out as well as I wanted. It was, my father used to call me Testa de Sheku, which we're pretty sure means head of a donkey. So I didn't really research what it was to put out this stuff. So the graphic novel cost me, I think, about 20 to 40 grand.
Really?
And yeah, it was very expensive to do, and I just I guess it just didn't come out the way I wanted to. So I took the graphic novel and made comic books, and started writing the novel. But the novel only came out like 6 months ago.
Right.
But in the process of making the novel, I came up with the Glimmers. I came up with Eli the Snazzle Raffer. Glimmers are little beings of light that make everybody glow if you're good. So you have glimmers of truth, glimmers of respect, glimmers of hope, glimmers of faith, glimmers of compassion, goes on and on. If you're a good person, you glow.
I glow all the time.
And you do. Everybody in this room, there are no lights on in this room. The light is coming from you guys because you guys are so good.
I glow sometime. Well, let's put it this way: there's usually substances involved, like alcohol.
Well,
And my nose is red.
that releases the phosphorescent glow
See?
of the glimmers.
Yes, see?
So there's a complete scientific backing to this whole thing. If you're not a good person,
I think
you
we should
don't
do a
glow.
controlled experiment.
We could do that. I would like to be part of that show. We could. What happens is your light goes out and your glimmers turn to dimmers. Very sad. Very sad looking, unglowing dimmers. So the first book I came up with was Ruby Shrew, Glimmer of Truth. This kid tells an unbelievable truth, a truth that doesn't have to be told, and he glows. The second one is Ignate Noor, who's a glimmer of respect. That's this guy here with a little mohawk, very respectful.
Okay.
He's got a motorcycle jacket.
Nice.
And he's got a little balloon bottom, which makes motorcycle sounds, which I thought, well...
I'm gonna have to remember that.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to attract young kids,
Okay.
like boys and girls, and the illustrations are awesome. Nick Miola just is an incredible illustrator.
How did you choose the illustrator? I mean, how did
I had some forethought on that. I went out and started looking or going to websites that had a lot of people who graduated NYU as illustrators. And Nick called me and we started talking. And originally, have you ever seen the toys that you have for dogs? It's like a wand with a ball in it, and you whip the wand and the ball goes flying. That was my original idea for a glimmer.
Oh.
I have two huge dogs. I used to do dog rescues. So I saw this toy and I went, wow, what a great idea for a character. And that became Glimmers. But the Glimmers originally came from Band of Innocence. Because in the book, the kids glow with... The kids in Band of Innocence have an innocence so pure that they were granted powers by the gods of the earth and Mother Nature to protect the world. So that's what they do. And there have been Band of Innocence from the beginning of time. Mother Teresa had her own Band of Innocence when she was a child. Martin Luther King. Because people with those dreams and that innocence, they carry through their lives. Although when you're 13, 14, your innocence starts to fade a little, you can no longer be in the Band of Innocence. A new band then becomes the Band of Innocence and goes on. Alexander the Great, for God's sakes. We can go as back as you want. So I was wondering why, I take these things very seriously. I was wondering why
As you
these
should.
kids, as I'm writing the book, I'm wondering why, okay, so these kids glow. Why do they glow? And then I thought, glimmers, they're surrounded with glimmers. So in this book, in the second book, you actually meet the glimmers and the father glimmer and all the baby little glimmers that are around Emily, which is the lead character. But I can go on, but you should stop me at some point.
Well, when your time is up.
So, so the first book came out. I mean, I did the comics off of the graphic novel. Then I realized, you know what, it's very expensive to pay illustrators.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to just do a novel. So that's when I started that book. And that took me like about a year to write. The comics are already there, and I'm working on the third Glimmer book, which is the Glimmers Save Christmas. And there's Hope, a little character called Jing Els, of course, and a little character called Holly. Jing Els is a glimmer of hope, Holly's a glimmer of faith. And the reindeer turn out to have can't-fly-itis, which I'm sure you know what that means.
I've got that
Yeah.
myself, actually. I've suffered with that for quite a while.
Probably all your life you can't fly.
I can't.
Me too, and I've tried millions of times. So the concussions, that's where all this stuff came, from me trying to fly.
Interesting.
13 concussions. So basically, that's where all the glimmers came from. The glimmers came from Band of Innocence. Eli the Snazzle-Raffer, I don't know where I came up with that name, but it's written in a Dr. Seuss form, and it's all
okay.
about friendship. And the second book is already done. It's Aaron the Acorn, which is, I got a pin for everybody.
I
See
see.
the little acorn pin?
Very cool.
Very
Eli teaches Aaron to grow up because Aaron does not want to be an oak tree. He wants to stay playing. And he really needs to be an oak tree because the benefits of trees being planted and growing is oxygen, shade, house, homes for bees and birds.
What is your age demographic with these books?
Band of Innocence, probably 8 to 12, 13, maybe 14. Glimmers, 5 to 8. Snazzle-Raffer is being passed around in an old age home by an 80-year-old friend of mine who loves the book, and he keeps giving it, because it's really all about friendship. So a friend of mine came to me and said, my son Anthony gave your book away. And I went, yeah. And he went, I told him not to. I said, well, what did Anthony say? And he goes, Anthony said it's a book about friendship. Of course I'm going to give it away to a friend. So that's the whole point of it basically is a book about friending somebody who doesn't look like you, or doesn't act like you, or doesn't speak like you. We tend to shy away from things like that. My feeling is I collect friends. I collect people. I like that. That is my goal in life, is to have, just go anywhere and be able to be friends with anybody.
A vast network.
Yeah. A big gang.
And how can we find these books?
OnTheLambProductions.com, Amazon.com. Those are the two biggest places. Barnes & Noble's has a couple of the Glimmer books.
Okay.
But since there are no more of those, I can't find them. Barnes & Noble, anywhere.
Yeah, they're
Kind of,
fading.
yeah. So,
On the Lamb,
On the Lamb.
which is kind of interesting.
And yellow means lamb.
Okay.
So if you go to an Italian restaurant, you order,
And yellow?
yeah, you're ordering my cousin's, probably. So I can't order lamb because it's
You know what?
kind of cannibalism.
Yeah, but I bet you wouldn't be bad.
Wow.
That was bad.
That was bad. Yeah.
So that's where On the Lamb came from. On the Lamb Productions. I have a music.
Well, you wait. That's where On the Lamb came from, your name. Okay? But now you were involved with a couple of different Nickelodeon programs as well,
Yeah.
as on your musical side. And the name of the band and the one
Lambs to Slaughter.
Lambs to Slaughter in a child's program. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying
Yeah, I've been trying.
because I used to watch that show with my kid. That's why.
People are trying to talk me out of that name, but since Lambs to Slaughter was the band in Pete and Pete, I figured if I'm going to go out and do Pete and Pete songs,
Right.
I'm carrying the name Lambs to Slaughter.
Why not?
You know,
I'm all behind that.
the other name for the band was Pleasantly Demented. Which someone, there's a story behind that, and that story is a friend of mine's mother has dementia. And she overheard the doctor talking about her mother, and the doctor was saying, well, she's pleasantly demented. So she called me up immediately. She goes, I got a name for your band.
It's named after my mother. Wow.
But I think I'm going to stick with Lambs to Slaughter. I think it's...
Well, now, what did well, the Nickelodeon show, Pete and Pete, which was on, that was back in the early 90s,
yeah,
right?
96.
Or mid-90s, okay.
Mid-90s.
And there was another one, right, that you were involved with?
Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen Sandiego. Now, you wrote the music for that?
I was the musical director for Where in Time was Carmen Sandiego, and I did all the sound effects for Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Very cool.
I worked my way up.
That was a popular show.
It was a great show. It was a great show, and when I want to get back to the whole friend thing. I have lots of families. The people from Carmen Sandiego were one of my families.
Okay.
And as I think you go through life, you pick up people, you pick up acquaintances that become parts of your family. Like I have band members that are parts of my family. The people at GMA, all the people working there, that's another one of my families.
Right.
So, you kind of spread out like that. Carmen Sandiego was literally one of the wackiest. I got yelled at because I kept playing There's a Rainbow on My Shoulder, that song, to the floor, and the host kept dancing to it, Greg Lee, and the producer came to me and said, you're killing him. Stop playing that song. Because every time I play it, you'd see him come out dancing across the stage. So, that was a great show, great people. Pete and Pete, the same thing. I'm still in contact with the writers, Will and Chris. They're great guys. That was another great show. Seeing Marshall Crenshaw sing Marmalade Cream. And the only reason I got that gig was because they had done pilots with a lot of the famous songs, like Mississippi Queen.
Right.
And they couldn't use it because it would have cost them a fortune for royalties. So they were looking for somebody who was good enough to cop the feel of those songs, but not so good where they could get sued.
Right.
And that was me. I could cop the feel, but I wasn't too good at copying people's music. I could just cop the feel. So Marmalade Cream was Mississippi Queen.
And Marshall Crenshaw sang it.
Marshall sang it. Sid Straw sang one of my songs. Iggy Pop sang one of my songs.
That's too cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing that.
Actually, Marshall's going to be at a venue at Randy Now's Man Cave, which is literally 5 minutes from my house in Bordentown City, the first weekend in December, I think.
You gonna go see it?
It's the only place is about the size of this room.
Scream out Marmalade Cream.
I was going to say, maybe I'll get when he's there during the day. 'Cause sometimes he does a meet and greet whenever he plays there. And Marmalade Queen.
Marmalade Cream, great song.
Cream.
It's a great song, and the funny thing is that's people. It's. They used to give me free rein to do anything I want, and that's the best thing for a musician.
Right.
Is to be able to just create. Do anything you want. That's why I have so much fun with the books, because I can create. There's nobody telling me which way to go or how to do that.
And where do we find them again?
On the Lamb Productions. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and Amazon.com has all the books.
Okay.
So
fantastic.
It is.
Now we're bringing out your buddy in a little bit. He's going to perform for us, and then
I heard he's wearing a really nice shirt.
he's wearing a really nice shirt. So we're going to have to check that out.
I heard
you guys commiserating. So
it was like a magnetic thing. It was nice cuffs.
I'm telling you, right?
Thank God it was shirts, not underwear.
Yeah, that could have been embarrassing.
Yes, it could have been.
Hopefully he would not have seen that.
Well, you never know in this place.
Unless our guest.
What's next?
That's true. We don't know what's next.
That's right. That's an open question.
That's right. Coming up next is Dave Vargo. He's going to perform for us, and then he's going to sit down with us for a little bit. And Robert, thank you, buddy.
It was nice meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Thanks for having me.
there's a whole series here. I can't even rattle off all the titles. But Robert Agnello, check him out at
On the Lamb Productions, Amazon.com.
there you go.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome back. My next guest right now is going to play a tune for us that's unreleased. And we'll talk to him when he sits back down. Everybody, Dave Vargo.
Now that nothing really matters, maybe head out west and find yourself another town. No one cares if you're around. Just take a drive, it's never ending. Makes it easy to keep on pretending you're alive. Not so broken up inside. Waiting round until you get your turn. Still the fires rage and the battle burns. No, it's not the same as believing. Putting down the past has been deceiving you too long. Time is done and now it's gone. Gonna press on through to find the answer, even while the truth keeps on glancing off your brow. All your favorite hurts aloud. Waiting round until you get your turn. Till the fires rage and the battle burns. Fighting hard despite all you've learned, and all you've done there in this battle burns. There's way since you can remember. It's a hero's game when the ember starts to glow. They got nothing left to show. Waiting round until you get your turn. Till the fires rage and the battle burns. Fighting hard despite all you've learned, and all you've done there in this battle burns. And all you've done there in this battle burns.
All right, everybody, welcome back. David, very
Danny?
nice, sir. A pleasure to see you. And
Always.
a new song, huh?
Brand new?
Brand new? You're in the studio again? You're working?
Almost. We're doing pre-production now. I got to write a few more songs, but the goal is to be in before the end of the year and hopefully have something in March or April.
Okay, well, you have your first CD here on the coffee table
Just so happens.
the coffee table of doom right here, and which was called Burning Through, which has gotten, I haven't seen a bad review yet.
Oh, I don't put those ones up.
No?
No, we've been very lucky on this one. Actually, it's been a whole year already, which I can't believe. It's been a year since October 14th was a year.
That you put the music out.
Yeah.
Dave Vargo has a storied musical past. Tell us. Do tell, Mr. Dave.
I don't know, aren't you supposed to ask me questions and I answer those questions?
I'm giving you the chance to just expound upon. Let us all know about your humble beginnings with, I don't know, Whitney Houston, and your first gig was at Madison Square Garden, and small little venues that nobody knows about.
Yeah. I did play with Whitney for about 2.5, almost 3 years. And actually, I had this conversation recently with somebody. They said, "How did Whitney find you?" And you have to kind of go back, and I don't remember these things very clearly. But I was working with somebody called Vonda Shepard. I don't know if you remember Vonda Shepard.
Vonda, yes, I've actually interviewed Vonda.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And this was pre-Ally McBeal, and she was, huffing it out in California. Mm-hmm. And I did a few shows with her, and then she went on the road with, I think, Al Jarreau or something as a background singer. And one of Whitney's people saw me there. And I think she was trying to hire Jersey people for her band. And I was a Jersey guy. And right place, right time. And I never saw Whitney Houston until the very first gig. And it was in Madison Square Garden. We rehearsed 3 months. She never showed up. Background singer sang the parts. We had our little X's where we were supposed to stand, and I was standing on mine. The lights came up in Madison Square Garden, and there was Whitney.
Bundle of nerves, or were you relaxed?
There was no nerves, I think, until the audience roared that first time, and then you kind of like the air goes out of you, and your knees get weak, and then you kind of, if you're lucky, and I gathered my nerves back, and I was able to play. It's easier when you're not in the spotlight. We're in the dark most of the time when you're in a band like that. So,
right.
Nobody even knows that you're there.
Now, what's that like to look out and see a sea of people like that?
You don't see very far.
The lights.
Yeah. And
first couple of rows, right?
Yeah.
First couple of rows, and if you're in the front of the stage, and we're in the back of the stage, so we don't see a heck of a lot. But you hear all those noises and
right.
the cheers and the singing along, and it's kind of like a karaoke in some nights. It's people kind of sing along, which is at least one of my friends actually got in to see Bruce Springsteen on Broadway, and he said the show started and he was doing the first song, whatever it was, and everybody was singing along, and Bruce stopped and he says, "I got this." My friend's like, "Oh, I can't sit through this. Doesn't everybody sing along the whole night like this? I'm here to see it's him and an acoustic guitar. You want to hear what he's going to do?"
Right.
And Bruce put an end to it, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean I've seen Bruce on a few different occasions, and people have a tendency to do that with his music. Yeah. Actually, there's a video from one of the Light of Day concerts at the Paramount Theater, which he usually shows up at some point, and he did his version of Thunder Road, just acoustic guitar.
Right.
And, he got to the words, and that was it. It was done, man. I don't think he sang the entire... And somebody took a cell phone video of it.
Right.
And it was like one of those moments where it gave you chills, So, but, all right, so you leave Whitney and you go to...
Well, when you are a touring musician, you can't say no very much, because you say no once, they don't ask you again. So in between her little tour that I was playing with Phoebe Snow on and off, which is a much smaller scale, but more enjoyable to a degree because she would let you kind of do what you do.
Right.
Whitney's regiment was very much play it like the record every night the same way. Don't put any personal stamp on it, do it the same way, which is kind of redundant as a musician. And Phoebe was just the opposite. She said, the first show I was there, I said, "What do you want me to do?" She goes, "You're the guitar player, figure it out."
Nice.
That's music to my ears. And a great talent, wonderful woman, and she should have gotten a lot more attention than she did, I think, musically.
and then Rupert Holmes, and then you play local.
I do. Yeah, I do a bunch of solo stuff around Central Jersey, a little bit in New York, a little bit in PA, and I have an acoustic duo that we do cover music. That is more of a paying gig.
Kim
Boyko, so
Boyko.
Kim and Dave. It took us a long time to come up with that name.
Okay. What are your websites, by the way, before we go any further?
DaveVargoMusic.com and Facebook, DVargo Music, and everything's good. Dave Vargo Music.
Okay, good. All right, so go ahead. So you and Kim do your cover gig, and
we do a couple of those a month typically, and try and stick in a couple solo shows, and then I still do a bunch of studio work for people that are doing records and stuff.
Okay. Work with anybody now?
Yeah, whoever calls. You know, it's the whole
I know that feeling.
You know, but you know, I'm at the stage now. I'm starting to say no to those kind of things because I never have time to work on my own stuff, and it kind of gets in the way. Because
you're helping so many others.
Get this record out, and can be working with some new people with the distribution and stuff, and they're ready to go, and they want to see product, so I got to come up with product now. No pressure or anything.
Right. Well, I see that either you or Robert, either one of you guys raided each other's closet, or you shop at the same manufacturer. You guys have been comparing these shirts all night. What kind of shirts are these we're wearing there?
Go ahead.
Robert Graham.
Robert Graham shirts.
I have to say, his has got nicer buttons than mine do.
Think so?
Well, you know, it's got the nice.
It's got the embroidery too. I hate to brag.
Well, I got that. Well, you know,
I got that too. Come on. Look, see.
Oh boy.
Now, how do
Tell you can point the Robert Graham guy out a mile away.
It's true.
That's the first thing you said when you walked into the.
Because they're unbelievably they're really well made. They're well made shirts, and they are very very individual. And not many people wear them. That's why when I walked in, I saw you. I went,
it's like a secret club.
You're like, I thought I had a one of a kind.
Funny.
It's everybody that.
Well, we're joking about it, but every time I've ever seen you perform, or any time I've ever seen you on any of my radio program or here, or you're always dressed like the entertainment. No, I'm serious. What I mean by that is, like tonight, I'm saying that tonight, right? I'm usually not dressed like this. I'm kind of laid back tonight a little bit, but
and very comfy, I might add.
I am. I'm quite comfortable here as I hold your CD in my hands and show it to the camera. I'm not surprised. I see these gigs with these bands, and I see these musicians show up in things like work boots and shorts and sloppy T-shirts, and then they stand around and they don't wonder, or they wonder why they don't get better gigs. I was always schooled to the thing of, if you're the entertainment, you need to look like the entertainment, you need to act like the entertainment. And I don't mean like snobbish or I want only green M&Ms or whatever the other things are. But what I mean is, there are certain people, when you go into a club or you go into a bar or a restaurant, that guy's got to be the entertainment, or she's got to be with the band, or you just know by the aura that they give off, or the way they're dressed.
Right.
So. I kudos to you, Mr. Dave, because you always look, you always look dapper. So, but now I know the secret. I know the secret.
One of the secrets.
Well, yeah, but look at Robert over there next to you. He's got the shirt, he's got the jacket, he's hip too. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Robert Graham.
Robert Graham. How did you come upon Robert Graham?
I don't even know how. Years ago, I was walking through, a mall, and I saw these shirts. I think it was Nordstrom's or Neiman Marcus. Saw these shirts on a rack, and I thought they were unbelievably odd. Like, I'd never seen anything like them before. Like the cuffs, the collars, the stitching. So I ended up buying one, and then at that time, I was married to a very wealthy woman, twice, and we had lots of.
That's a story.
I was kind of rich at that point, so she kept buying them for me. I kept buying them, and now I'm poor again, and so now I go to the outlet stores and find them for $99.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, well, you got to do what you got to do.
You gotta.
That's
Gotta keep my habit.
That's right.
I need my shirts.
All right, so Dave, you have a new CD out, which I was excited to see in your email blast.
Well, it's not out yet. Well, we're starting.
Well, you're working on it, so you'll have a new CD that will be coming out eventually.
Yes.
But I think you said in your email that you're going to have a couple of tracks done by the end of the year.
I'm hoping to have at least 4 or 5 done before the end of the year.
Okay.
With this record, we kind of we tracked everything, and then like you usually do, at the end you mix it and then you master it. I was going to try and do 3 or 4 songs where they're mixed and mastered, and ready just to kind of release them.
Okay.
Before the record is done.
Where are you recording this one?
I'm still working on it. Timmy Pinel's still going to do it. He's just opening up a new studio.
Okay.
So Tim's going to do the record. The last one we did in his basement. It's all professional gear. It's not your typical basement. Right. But he's moving into new digs, so I think we're probably going to use that.
Very nice. Now, you also run a singer-songwriter series.
I do.
Out of a church.
Out of church.
In Farmingdale.
We just had our 1-year anniversary of that, too, in August. It's a local church. I live in Farmingdale, New Jersey, and it's an old 100-some-year-old church that... I'm not a religious person, so there's nothing to do with religion here. It was a nice sounding room, and had done some shows there, and I got to be friendly with the pastor, who's a musician. And I said he'd really like to have more people in his church. He's a very low attendance, and I said, well, why don't you do music? Host a singer-songwriter showcase or something. And he said, go ahead. And because I know so many people, we started doing it. It's the very first show had 3 people, but ever since then we have 2 acts with an intermission in between, coffee and dessert, to do 45-minute sets. And
That's great.
It doesn't pay, but they play for tips, and the people are very generous. They end up doing pretty well for a 45-minute set. So
good for them.
Still trying to build the audience. It's a Tuesday night always, which is not always a great night to go out. The brain idea there was that there's nothing else going on Tuesday nights. Why don't we do it on a Tuesday? So we're still fighting to build the audience, but it's been going well.
Well, now this, remarkably, is David's first CD. It's his debut disc. And, you've been a musician for a long time.
Yeah.
What made you finally... because let's just be honest, Dave. It took you how many decades to put out this one, and now you're putting out a second one within a year after this one came out. So you've either got the bug... or your wife finally talked some sense into you.
Well, my wife is behind it.
That she is. I recall that.
I didn't write a song until 3 years ago. I was always I consider myself an interpreter. I always worked for people, and you try and make them sound better, and I was very good at that. I was very good at arranging other people's songs, and writing songs is hard.
You got to say something.
Yeah, you got to have something to say.
Right.
And it's I work with some of these 17-year-olds, and they're actually writing good songs. I'm like, how do you have anything to say? You're 17.
Right. You haven't suffered enough yet.
Yeah, really. But she said, I was doing these open mics when I started playing 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and she said, these other people are writing songs. You should really start writing. And I said, okay. And I don't write much. I think I'm lucky if I write 8 songs a year. With everything else.
It's full length.
There's 11 songs in that, hopefully to be 11 on the next one. But it's not like, when I was down in Nashville back in September, I ran into a lot of people that do this for a living, and I've had, songs with Keith Urban and different things, and they make their living selling their songs, which was like a great thing and fun thing to do. I was talking to Laurie McKenna. I don't know if you guys know Laurie McKenna. She's out of outside of Boston. And I was like, well, how did you get this far? And now she's had, 20 songs recorded by various people. She said, well, I write 150 songs a year. And I was like, okay. And she has 5 kids. Wow. I was like, whoa. I said, that ain't going to be me. But yeah, she said, when I get 2 cuts per year instead of 150, it's not a very good batting average. I said, yeah, but her songs, I think the Keith Urban song sold, 4 million copies, so she's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say.
She made $6.99.
4 million, you can actually...
Off Spotify.
Yeah, off Spotify.
Well, those are, yeah, if you're actually getting physical sales, which the country people still do.
Right.
They sell records, so
They,
some of them
they do make money.
She does okay. Yeah.
Correct. Well, fortunately for me, I was very lucky recently to interview Neil Sedaka.
Cool.
And he worked as a songwriter with a partner. They would go to work 9 to 5 at the Brill Building in Manhattan, and they would just write material all day, jingles for commercials, and for various stars at the time, vocal, musicians, and then he just started branching out on his own. He said in his lifetime he's had to have written well over I think the figure he threw at me was 5,000 songs.
I could imagine.
And he's also a classically trained, pianist. Yeah. So, you play guitar. Do you play any other instruments?
No, not well. I mean, I can. I can play bass and I can play drums, but I wouldn't hold myself out as being able to do that.
Well, that's okay too. Hey, you do well at the guitar. You're sought after.
I try sometimes.
Any idea what this next album's going to be titled?
No idea yet.
No? I see. Speaking of your wife, how is she? How's her business? She has a business of her own.
She's done well. She grows organic hand-cut flowers and sells them. So she's a farmer florist. And her season is just coming to an end, and she's very happy about that.
Good for her.
She starts planting December, January in the house under heat lamps and stuff. And then from March on, she's just 7 days a week. Unless she's lucky enough to have a heavy rainstorm and she can sleep in until, she did her last wedding last week. So she's ready for a break. But she's doing well, thank you.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to cultivate avocado pits. No, I'm serious. Wait, I might have to call her. Excuse me. Years ago, before I was married to my ex-wife, once.
Oh, good. we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. When I was married, before I was married to my ex-wife, we had friends who lived in South Jersey, down around Willingboro area. And they said, there's this restaurant by us, it just opened up, it's called Chili's. We're going back 30 years. So we go down there. Well, because it was their grand opening, everybody got an avocado pit. And you just planted it, and it grew. Well, this thing grew, I'm not kidding you, to be about this tall. And then suddenly, and for whatever reason, I think my ex-wife was jealous of that plant because she'd always say, oh, it was called Pedro the Pit. And she would always look at it. She's like, I think you care more about that avocado plant than me. And I'm like, no, but look, we've grown it from nothing but a seed, and look. And I came home one day and Pedro suddenly was dead.
This sounds like the Christmas story with the lamp.
It could be.
I'm starting to wonder.
It could be.
She killed Pedro?
I'm not, I can't say that, especially not on whatever kind of television this
Were
is.
there empty antifreeze bottles
I'm
around?
thinking maybe all of a sudden Pedro was this vibrant plant and was like, so that's it.
Sounds very similar.
Don't you think?
Anything's possible.
So I can't even do that. So I have to, although the property I live on there's stuff growing there. It's not supposed to grow there, like some kind of Texas star hibiscus that's only grown in the Jocko Ranch has many things. All right, what are your websites again, David?
DaveVargoMusic.com and Facebook DVargo Music.
DVargo Music. Well, I'm looking forward to the next album because Burning Through is a really good one.
Thank you so much.
David, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that great performance.
Thanks.
Prior to sitting down with us, and we'll be right back.
Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Since 1987, Monmouth Music has served the local music community of Red Bank from their location at 30 Monmouth Street in the center of historic downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. Owner-operated, Monmouth Music provides lessons of all levels, beginner through professional, as well as brand-name instruments and a repair service. For all of your musical needs, go to Monmouth Music. That's Monmouth Music, 30 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey. All right, everybody, welcome back. Before we close the show this evening, we want you to know that next week we have singer-songwriter, musician Deborah Davy. I'm not exactly sure how we pronounce her name because I haven't spoke to her yet, but we have that. We have Brian Hill. We have a theater major, Brian Hill, a young actor and a singer-songwriter. And we have Estelle Massery of Cuckoo Photography. So come on back. Right now, though, we have Ian Colletti doing his song Love While We're Young, and from The Saint. See you next week, and we'll find out what's next.
All right, I've got a new single coming out this Friday. The song's called Love While We're Young. Yeah, that's what we're going to play right now.
The souls of you and I. Oh, I thought I knew the cost. A subtle smile, a fleeting word could hold the love that built our world. Then you said that I was lost. And how could it be so simple? How could I be so foolish to fall for this again? But don't you dare say you care or say you love me if you know that you're gonna walk away. But I wish that we could freeze in time. I wish that I could free your mind from all the voices telling you that running out is wrong. 'Cause I just wanna hold you there, go fast in the world and yesterday. so